Okay, so here's my take on the suit and weapons upgrading. Now, two of my suits are already fully maxed suit, just only got a few slots left for modding. However, the only one I haven't done is this one, which is my exploration suit, the Armistice suit, and it just needs manufacturing instructions. Now, I could go out there and find them on my own on these little data panels on base settlements, or you can take missions on for that. You can't do much with the flight suit apart from changing its cosmetics. But yeah, in here you can do your cosmetic changes and then add, well, go to engineers for modding. So only some of them have all got, I think they actually know all of them have got the reduced tool battery consumption. Especially when you're using like the analyzing tool or trying to gather people's data. I've forgotten his name already. But Dominator suit is pretty much combat movement speed has been added. The suit I use the most is my Maverick suit, which has got the same thing except for some damage resistance, but it's got it maxed out for its like shield strength and shield regeneration. As for weapons, I tend to only carry the Karma A50, in which in this video is the only thing I actually upgrade, so I can basically get the next slot up, so I can get that modded. But it's all about collecting those vital important pieces. I did upgrade some of the other guns every now and then, but I just never carry them. I'm always between the A50, the Manticore Executioner, and the TK Zenith. They're the only ones I've been upgrading, and I added mods to them. The engineering side used to be kind of a pain in the backside, but I think with this new operations and new credits you're earning, I'm guessing down the line we're going to be able to use that to buy new mods. So instead of actually just like grinding for materials, we might be able to earn it, which would be super useful. Can't confirm that because I'm still testing and playing for myself to find out. Unless someone else knows, let me know. So sometimes I like to go to anarchy systems so I can be a bit risky if I decide to cause some trouble, to find components as I go around settlements looking for materials, data, schematics, any of that stuff that you need. So I always look for a anarchy system. It's just an easy way to farming materials and not have to worry about taking on a mission. However, you will run into, there are materials that sometimes would come out like drips and drabs, so sometimes you're going to have to take on certain missions, especially for manufacturing instructions, and you can get a bulk load of them. Once you arrive to an anarchy system, you want to go and look at the basically factions list and look for basically the factions that are in anarchy. So if you do run into anybody and you have to shoot them, you will not gain any fines, any bounties. The only thing you will do is alert their own security, and they'll just come down there to try and take you out. Then you basically search your system and look for basically a settlement with their name on it. Ironically, the place I turned up to was actually an abandoned place, which probably generates a mission for restoring or reactivation. But I thought, you know what, for the hell of it, I'm still going to come here and collect some pieces while I could. So things like basically metal coils, ionized gas, all that kind of stuff you will be able to find all loitered around in lockers, sometimes loose on top of items. Luckily I had a power regulator to use when I was here to basically restart this station so I could actually get around a bit quicker to find materials. So for data, you're going to be looking for pads like this on the wall, and then you download. Be careful of the purple ones or ones with bell symbols on them. If you're in a system that actually has people around, it will set off the alarms, so you want to make sure you turn off any settlement alarm systems, so then they won't trigger them and it won't cause a horde of people to come after you. Anyway, over here, hence using my Maverick suit, you can find lockers that have got mag locks on them, so use that. Now, sometimes you can find suit schematics, weapon schematics, ship schematics, sometimes in the locker, and they tend to be in the command buildings and power plants. That's where I've normally found them. Sometimes, yeah, no, actually, it is the command building. I think it's the only two I've ever really come across them. For data-wise, where you want to find like manufacturing, instructions, and all this other stuff, you go to those data pads. but sometimes trying to find them, it's a bit of a lottery really. If my memory serves me well, sometimes you can get most of these things from the data pads that are in the hubs. Now, by sheer luck, when I was recording this, I went to the station in the area and I actually found there is a quick and easy mission retrieval up, and it basically allowed me to get 15 units of manufacturing instructions because it was the only thing I needed for doing the gun. So I took the job and went over to the retrieval spot, and basically, luckily, I still had some e-breaches on me. Those you'll have to buy from certain systems. Probably an anarchy system, piratey kind of stations. You can buy them from the shop vendors from there. So I've got the sample I needed to collect from this wreck site, returned, completed the mission, and then chose the reward for the middle one for the manufacturing instructions, as that's what I needed. So yes, I could have done the suit for the Armistice upgrade, but I didn't bother because I never really use this suit unless I'm just exploring, and you're not really going to use this to... I haven't found any other use to go out and try and cause fights with just wearing that one. It's pointless. You might as well just focus on upgrading the other two. So I went straight to the gun, but I realised I was low on weapon components, and that's where the bartenders come in handy. You can basically sell stuff to them that you don't want to carry, or you can actually trade. So you'll have a look for something that you need, like the weapon component. You click on what you're after, and then you can have a look at other stuff that you could trade in for different units, sizes. It all depends on how many you're going to pass on. So basically I traded in whatever I could, making sure I didn't trade in anything like tungsten carbide because I think I needed that for the gun, so I didn't touch that. So yes, you'll basically look at what you don't really need, trade in if you haven't got it. Once you've done that, you then go back to the gunsmith, the pioneer shop. So then you just basically upgrade the weapon, which now gives it a 2.8 damage output. Doesn't change anything else on there, apart from gives you an extra slot for another mod for engineers to help you with. That stuff I'm still kind of working on. I've only got 2 of the suit and weapons engineers open for when it comes to this sort of stuff. I'm still trying to unlock Odin Geiger, who has the night vision, but sometimes you have to fill in these requests for engineers. So if you're searching for engineers, look to your right panel and then go to engineers and then look to the center, and then you'll see a list, and sometimes you might have them unlocked and sometimes you'll have invitations to go to some. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. So what you can do from here is pick the one that you want to go and see, view it in the galaxy map and set course. Now I would suggest looking online or really actually taking note of materials you're going to need, because it's the same with the engineers. You'll need certain components, certain items to basically get them to upgrade what you want them to do. So you'll go to a engineer, you've got to modify the suits or the weapons, pick what you want to add to. Now obviously this one has improved hipfire and noise suppressor, however I've already got a noise suppressor on it, but anything in red is what you need. So these are things you've got to look out for in the world, or hopefully if you got it on you, then you're well away adding it onto your weapon, or adding a mod onto your suit.
The odds of winning a gunfight go way up if you're the first to draw.
Right, well, hopefully this has helped you and gives you, anybody who's looking into playing Elite Dangerous, is brand new to the game and wants to understand the upgrading. This is the first time I've actually kind of done a video on this topic myself and doing it this way as a voiceover.
At least I didn't scare you away last time. I was just about to continue a painting I've been working on, but I suspect you've brought me something more interesting.
But my next plans will be to try and do a little bit more of these new operations and try and earn these like Merc credits and see what happens, see how it helps me unlock new stuff, or to buy mods instead of just having to scrounge and looking for materials. Well, I think I've pretty much covered everything I can think of and what I can remember, so I'm going to try and do a little bit more on this, and even probably take on some of the missions and actually just gather materials that I need, or that will help if I take notes or write it down of the materials. So if you've got this far, thank you for watching, and please consider a like, a sub, whatever it is that helps the channel, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. Ciao for now.